Paul Buchanan is back in court. Paul Buchanan determined so the Prime Minister's seat is to be his seat. Paul Buchanan
A new legal fight has started over the election result in St. Andrew West Central. Paul Buchanan, the candidate from the People's National Party, PNP, lost the race to Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, but is now taking his case to the Supreme Court. Mr. Buchanan and his lawyer, Hugh Wildman, filed a lawsuit on Wednesday morning. They are challenging a decision made by the Constituted Authority, which monitors election activities. The Constituted Authority recently rejected Mr. Buchanan's request to throw out the election results. Dr. Holness won the seat on September 3rd, receiving 7,054 votes compared to 4,953 for Mr. Buchanan. However, Mr. Buchanan argues that there were problems like violence and threats in 2 divisions, which affected how people voted. He provided several sworn statements to support his claim. The Constituted Authority said the evidence Mr. Buchanan provided was not strong enough under the law to stop Dr. Holness's victory. However, Mr. Wildman argues that the authority was wrong. He claims the authority was not supposed to decide if the evidence was strong enough to prove the case. That job belongs to an election court. Mr. Wildman stated, "We are saying that the Constituted Authority took over the job of the election court." Mr. Buchanan is now asking the Supreme Court to step in, cancel the authority's decision, and force them to send the case to the election court to decide if the election in St. Andrew West Central should be made void.
We are seeing that the Constituted Authority usurp the functions of the election court. It is not their job to do that. Their job is to determine whether or not there is credible evidence to go to the election court. And once there is credible evidence to go to the election court, they have a duty to send it to the election court. They don't have any discretion to prevent it from going. So what they did is to usurp the functions of the election court. And so by failing to do that, by failing to refer to the election court, we are asking the Supreme Court to intervene and to quash their decision and to compel them by way of a mandamus to send it to the election court to consider whether the election in West Central should be voided.
Let's now hear what TVJ News reported on this matter.
The People's National Party's caretaker candidate for St. Andrew West Central, Paul Buchanan, isn't letting up on attempts to have the election results in that constituency nullified. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness retained the seat, but Mr. Buchanan is insisting there were irregularities. As Jamila Maitland now reports, his lawyers have now filed an application in the Supreme Court for a judicial review to compel the Constituted Authority to grant him the ability to allow an election court to void the results.
It's between Paul Buchanan and the Constituted Authority. At least that's the title of the application for judicial review filed by defense attorney Hugh Wildman on Wednesday on behalf of his client.
By failing to refer to the election court, we are asking the Supreme Court to intervene and to quash their decision and to compel them by way of a mandamus to send it to the election court.
The Constituted Authority on September 30 rejected an affidavit by Paul Buchanan that alleged that the election in St. Andrew West Central was compromised. The People's National Party's Paul Buchanan received 4,953 votes to the Jamaica Labour Party's Dr. Andrew Holness's 7,054 votes. According to the application filed on Thursday, the affidavit included evidence of double voting, voter intimidation, and reports of possible compromise of the integrity of the ballot boxes. Mr. Buchanan said the route agreed by the returning officer and both candidates, the JLP candidate, Dr. Andrew Holness. The area was also described as volatile and hostile towards Mr. Buchanan in the application.
We challenge that. We are saying that the Constituted Authority usurped the functions of the election court. It is not their job to do that. Their job is to determine whether or not there is credible evidence to go to the election court.
The Constituted Authority is a 6-member body, 4 from the Electoral Commission and 2 others, one of whom is a retired judge and the other a member of the Privy Council. The members have the power to halt or void elections under certain circumstances. Notably, the authority has voided results in several polling stations in the same West Central St. Andrew constituency in the December 1997 general election after it found evidence of voting irregularities. That time the candidates were the JLP's Dr. Andrew Holness, the PNP's Warren Blake, and the National Democratic Movement's Steve Daly. The election was redone under greater scrutiny and security. Mr. Holness was eventually declared the winner. Mr. Wildman notes that there has never been a matter brought against the authority before, but the defense attorney is sure that this case will be groundbreaking.
I am confident about it because I think there was sufficient evidence, credible evidence, for the Constituted Authority to send it to the election court. Let the election court now hear the evidence and determine whether or not they should board the election.
Paul Buchanan is back in court. Paul Buchanan determined so the Prime Minister's seat is to be his seat. Paul Buchanan is citing that the agreed route for election night for the ballot boxes to travel, the route was changed. Paul said the ballot boxes traveled through Jamaica Labour Party stronghold that were hostile against him. So Paul, where's your security? Where's the team that you're traveling with? You want to tell me that everybody on your team is so frail that you guys couldn't drive with the ballot boxes? Paul is determined. So there has to be a by-election in St. Andrew West Central. But Paul, if it is that you are successful, Paul, you will face the biggest political defeat in your political career. Paul, leave the Prime Minister's seat alone. Paul.